Yeah. Now, is that okay? Thank you, the Water Witness team, to give me this opportunity to present the USA Transform Wash project experience, particularly on wash governance and management capacity in order to build the subnational government entities in order to make them accountable or in order to make them to account for their roles and responsibility to make the wash market works or develop. So I will go through you to the experience, and if you have any questions or comments, I think I'll try to respond back. The USA Transform Wash project in Ethiopia is it's about 6 years project. It was started in 2017. Now it is under 22. It is in a cost extension period. So it is implemented by PSI with the support of or with the consortium members of Plan International, SNV, and IRC. It is a 25 million USD project, and it has its own clear approach in order to test market-based models to increase the use of wash product and service in the country, particularly in 9 regions and 41 waradas in Ethiopia. So until 2021, we were engaged in 41 warada, but in 22 we are additional 22, so now it's 63. Next slide. Yeah, just to give you a flavor of the Ethiopian context. So in terms of particularly on sanitation, so in terms of sanitation, the practice is quite low. So the open defecation, even if it is decline from 90% in 2010 to 17% in 2022, but still it's huge gap in the country. But we have done a lot to decline towards 17%. Next slide. And in terms of, for example, using improved toilets, unimproved toilets, I mean, so in the context of Ethiopia, still 62% of the Ethiopian population are using unimproved toilets, which you have maybe seen in the picture. So a lot has to be done in the coming years to meet SDG. Next slide. And in terms of basic sanitation facility, even if a lot has been done in the previous years, still 7%. And in the revised 2021, it's about 9%, not a significant increment. But this is still in a low, and so basic sanitation is quite important, but we are still in low status. Next slide. So this indicated that for an organization who are engaged in business is a big opportunity, even if it's quite dangerous for the community, but it's a big opportunity for sanitation business to work on and also to reach the SDG and beyond goal for the country. So that's why USA Transform Wash are really engaging in marketing, particularly sanitation, to achieve the goal. So USA Transform Wash, it has 4 result areas in order to achieve in order to support the One Wash effectiveness. For those who are not know about the One Wash national program, it's a big program in the country. It's a sector-wide program in order to achieve the wash or water sanitation and hygiene in the countries, and also particularly with the SDG goals. So it is a program of in all over the waradas, and donors are highly supporting it. There is a consolidated wash account within the One Wash National Program, which is a donor basket to support around 300 waradas and 115 towns in order to showcase for others to continue. So one of the Transform Wash big objective is to ensure the One Wash effectiveness, and as well as in order to increase the marketing system in the country for sanitation. So there are 4 clear result area. One is increased wash governance and management management capacity at sub-national level. This is very important in order to create enabling environment, particularly for wash market work. And the second one is increasing demand for low-cost quality products and service, which is again quite important area. And the third one is increasing the supply for low-cost quality wash products through supply chain actors, through market and also private sector engagement. The last one is knowledge management. So it's quite important to document and also use that one, and also using for influencing and advocacy purpose at the country level. So mine is mainly focusing on the result area one. Next slide. On increasing wash governance and management capacity, particularly, which is quite important for wash market development in the country. For this purpose, in collaboration with the national and sub-national government, we have done an assessment, because it's quite important to understand what is the context in order to engage before, because this is quite important to be accountable for the donor money that we get, and also to bring a change. It's quite important to do analysis, what critically the gap in terms of capacity in order to implement the One Wash program, as well as the market-based sanitation engagement. Next slide. So maybe this is many organizations, I can say, those who are engaging in the wash, they have tried to manage the wash sector bottlenecks in order to bring sustainable wash service in the country. So the USAID Transform Wash also use this one in the context of Ethiopia in order to use, or in order to analyze the sector gaps in the country. So we are seeing what are the gaps in terms of policy, strategy, and direction, even in terms of both at policy level and as well as practicing the policy and strategy, and also institutional arrangement. In the institutional arrangement, there are three things that we are considering. One is coordination among stakeholders, and the other one is the service itself, and the regulation and accountability within the institutional arrangement. And the other key important area is the program methodology, how the wash market development is working, how the wash program is working. And what methodology in terms of harmonization and alignment and other things. The other key important in terms of sector blocks is implementation capacity at different levels, so both professionals and others. So that is one consideration, and also availability of product and product, goods, and service at all level in the country, especially at lower level at the community. And the other key areas in terms of sector blocks is financing in the country. When I'm talking about financing, it's about allocation and also utilization is the aspect that we will consider. And also the PMR, so the planning, monitoring, evaluation, and reporting. This is ambitious, and it's very important to focus in order to bring sustainable development in the WASH. Next slide. Yeah, this is the framework that we are using at the beginning of the project in order to build the capacity of the WASH sectors, particularly in the sector governance and management. It starts from the WASH capacity assessment, and also it goes to the outcomes, and then to the WASH sector governance and management capacity. I don't want to go in detail because I'll present it later. Thank you. To the next slide. Yeah, so in order to increase the WASH governance, as I said, I'm focusing on the result area one, which is increased WASH governance and management capacity. In order to build that capacity, the USAID Transform WASH have started from capacity gaps and need assessment, because this is critical and very important. In order to bring a change, we should have to need what really capacity gaps and needs at district level, at Warada level, which is 41 Waradas, and working with the sector ministries, regional and Warada office. So based on the capacity building gaps and needs, we directly build or bring a capacity building guideline, which is quite important in order to, which was helped for us, and which is frame us to work the capacity development work in order to make particularly the local government to their roles and responsibility in terms of building the wash market. And based on the guidelines, we developed different training manuals. So in the assessment, most of these sectors have their critical gap in terms of planning, budgeting, monitoring and evaluation and reporting. And also, for example, in terms of operation, this procurement, contract administration, financial management. And also there is a gap in terms of operation and maintenance, gender and others. I just mentioned here few. So based on the needs, we developed a training manuals, and that training manuals are cascading towards to the community level. Next slide. So in our work, we have, based on the capacity building guides and training manuals, so, and also based on the assessment finding, we have again through all waradas with regional zonal team and sensitized about the WASH policy strategy and guideline, because the awareness level was quite low at that time. And then we sensitize them to understand it well, what WASH policy is, WASH strategies and guideline. This is quite an important and helpful for their strategy and plan development. And also we provide them a training. We are not the one who provide directly the training, but we provided a training for regional, zonal, and Warada team together in different training areas. So because we bring them together in order to one learn to the others, because the regional have some areas that they are interested, the zone and the Warada. So that platforms of discussion might be helpful for them to learn each other, and also to go to detail or depths in the areas which is specifically for the Warada that should be answered by the region or by the zone. So such kinds of training experience were quite important for them to build horizontal and vertical integration among the sectors. And also those who are trained by us go to the Kabales and the Waradas and provide the training in the sense of cascading. Next slide. Yeah, and in terms of strategic, I'm trying to focus on few areas. In terms of, for example, strategic and operational plans, by the trainings that the regional, zonal people's providing to the Warada, all Warada, I can say the 41 Waradas now have their own WASH strategic plan for 5 years, based on the growth and transformation plan of Ethiopia, and as well as based on the SDG plan. They do have a strategic plan, and aligning with the strategic plan, they developed regularly by annum or by annual their operational plans, which is very doable and simple to manage. And also almost all intervention Kabales within the Warada, there are 15 Kabales per Warada, prepared their annual sanitation plan, again based on the Warada sanitation plan. And all Waradas again prepared and signed MOUs. MOUs very important in the accountability area, because it is a binding for them in order to have clear roles and responsibility, also to implement their roles and responsibility. So we are building their capacity in order to prepare their MOUs, and also in order to implement and follow up their MOUs implementation through their strategic plan, their annual plan, and sanitation plan. And all the Warada WASH team and also the Warada technical team. When I say the Warada WASH team, there are 7, including finance, water, education, health, agriculture, women, and also administration. These are critical and very important in terms of the WASH sector to make it sustainable. So all the Warada WASH team and as well as the technical teams are revitalized, and now they are functional. When I say functional, they are conducting regular meetings, regular discussions, and also regularly jointly implementing, jointly monitoring. This is quite important, and in order to strengthen roles and responsibility within the sectors, and in order to make at least mutual kinds of accountability within the sector actors. And also with us as a development partners, we are working together with them. Next slide. The other key areas of achievement is integration and coordination among the sector. As I mentioned previously, at regional and at zonal and at Warada level, particularly at Warada level, the integrations are really amazing. So all the sector actors are coming together for planning together, and also for implementation and monitoring. In terms of for monitoring, for example, they are organizing a joint technical review for the steering committees once in a quarter, and for technical teams once in months, and then they bring together, and they're coming together for reflection and discussions, and also documentation. So and the integration even vertically, which is the region to the zone to the warada to Kabale, now getting improvement. This is because of the capacity development, because of the joint supportive supervision. It is because of the consultative and dialogue session that we are organizing at that level. And the other one is even beyond the wash sectors, wash and energy sector now are integrated into El Voroda's intervention. So this is very much helpful. Before this intervention, the energy sector do not give that much attention for the health sector, particularly for biogas implementation. But now even the government at some regions decided that whatever biogas are implementing in the country, or in that locality, or in that region, they suggested that sanitation should give an attention, particularly improved sanitation. So this will be also helpful for integration within the sector. Next slide. The other one is finance management, which is again very important and critical in the Warada that we are engaging in, because of we providing them a capacity building training on procurement, contract administration, and financial management. It's not only training, but coaching by regional, zonal to the Warada, and also some of follow-up and technical support. Now all the intervention Warada, which is 41 Waradas, have a clear procurement plan, which was not happened in the previous years. Clear procurement plan, and also passed through the bidding process. So this will be this was much helpful for several waradas in order to increase their budget utilization, particularly, and also it has also showed an improvement in the construction activities, which is completing within the given time. So this avoiding this the budget the budgets are spending on time, and also the rate that given by the regional government was interesting for this particular time in these 41 waradas. So their efficiency are increasing. Next slide. The other key and important is monitoring, learning, and documentation. So now the Warada WASH team, particularly the Warada technical teams, are working regular quarterly joint supportive supervision to the community, to the household, as well as to the business partners, to follow up, providing supportive advice and technical support. So these are increasing, and routine follow-ups and technical advice also facilitated by the Warada technical team, and also sanitation marketing team, and also whenever they are going down to the household and to the business, whenever big issues are raised, they are forming a dialogue discussion particularly with decision makers on those areas that needs the decision makers' attention. So this will give us a very good, by the way, success in terms of allocation of finance from the government particularly for sanitation. And also they organized a joint experience sharing visit to those warada which have outstanding results, in order to facilitate learning or cross-learning within the warada, within the region, and as well as zone. and documentation has been improved in that warada, because together with us we produce a kind of logbooks to document their minutes and as well as their work experience and achievement. So that will be helpful for them. Please, next slide. And the key and the very important is because private sector in the wash market development area is one of the service provider to the household. So we are working with the government because in order to facilitate the enabling environment for them, or in order to account them to their roles and responsibility in terms of wash market development work. So with that, the government now have a good engagement with the private sector at local level. We have about 500 business along the 41 waradas. So the WWT or the Warada Wash team, and as well as the sanitation marketing working groups, the Kabale is a local administration unit. The local Kabale Wash teams have been supported the business in different angles, because one of the critical gaps in terms of market was access to loan is it was difficult, and also access to land and also foreign currency and others was quite a problem. But because of the engagement that we have in this project, we have seen an improvement in terms of, for example, allocating access to loans for the private sector through the microfinance institutions, and some government, which is local government, also facilitating land for them for a particular few years in order to for example, production and for store, and also display and of sales of their products. And also they were both the Warada team, the Kabale team now are active to provide supervision role and also advice for the private sector to be active and work. Next slide. In terms of community engagement, because now the decision makers or the enablers are the government and also the service provider, the private sector, and and also the users, the household. So in order to engage community or the citizen, a few things have been happened. One is engaging the wash committee from the community representatives, and we strengthening them in order to support the water facilities around in their engagement in terms of operation and maintenance. But on top of that, we are also supporting the washcos through the Warada in order to make them active in terms of creating demand for their sanitation, not only creating demand but also activation, so in order to increase their purchasing to sanitation product. It's not only WASHCO, but women development armies are very important. That is one out of the 5 households within the community. So that structure is also quite important in order to create demand across the community for one, demand creation for wash products, and as well as in terms of use. So where it is possible to engage this through the community. And the other very important thing is, which is directly aligning with our sector blocks, we call it an institutional strength index. It is a kind of monitoring tools to measure the effectiveness of sector blocks in terms of, for example, planning, in terms of finance, in terms of, for example, product availability, in terms of monitoring and evaluation. So there are 7 key categories, but 21 indicators to measure the institution, whether it's strong to support or to create enabling environment for a wash market, particularly sanitation. So during the establishment or at the beginning, it was 9% when we measure. There is 9%. Particularly, there are few things are working there. But in our engagement of the last 5 years, now it is 90%. So which means 36 waradas out of 41 intervention waradas scored 75% of the 25 indicator, which implies they do have clear warada plan, they do have clear vision, they do have some budget for sanitation, they are doing monitoring, and also they are doing their follow-up, and also in terms of human, all these elements are good one, which is they are achieving by this years. So what that mean is now in terms of their roles and responsibility, they are reaching up to 19%, which is interesting. Now we are at a position of documenting this one by this year. We have done kinds of documentation or learning note. Maybe Mulugeta can share that one. We have 2 learning notes we have done before in 2018 and 19, but in 2022 we are now in a position to develop the effectiveness of institutional strength index and the wash and energy intervention in general, the capacity building effectiveness in terms of one wash program, and as well as market development that I might share sometimes when it's completed. In general, in summary, so the capacity building and as well as the capacity building work that we have in the USAID Transform WASH, it started from the assessment and then building the guideline, and also have different training manuals and providing training to all the regional, zonal, Warada and Kabale WASH teams. It's not just providing training, because training is just a means, but what makes it more strong is the coaching and also the integration within the sector, the coordination within the sector, the alignment with the policy, strategies, guideline, and also the partnership within there, and also clarity of roles and responsibilities, and coaching whether they are implementing their roles and responsibilities are really quite important for the achievement we have made there. And this will lead to the strong WASH governance and management at local level, particularly in the Warada. And this will really an achievement for our WASH strengths in the district level. So an institutional capacity is quite important, which leads to clear roles and responsibility, the clarity of roles and responsibilities, and the coaching and mentoring or discussions will lead to strong integration and coordination. This will lead us to have a very good mutual accountability or mutual coordination within the sector at different levels, both vertical and horizontal. Thank you, Ben.